Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Dr. Mike. Today we are talking about the greatest quad stretch in the world. We're all probably familiar with this. It is called the couch stretch. Now, many of us know what the couch stretch is, but few of us know how to do it correctly. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the couch stretch correctly and give you two more options in case the couch stretch is too advanced for you. Now, I absolutely love the couch stretch in the sense that it really exposes a lot of tightness in the quadricep and hip flexor area. And you'll be surprised if you spend about a minute or two on each side, you'll find that one side is typically tighter than the other. So let's get started with the first option one, which is going to be the most advanced. We're going to use an ab mat. I have a box here, but you can actually use your couch or a wall. And then you're gonna also use kind of like a medicine ball or a small box, and I'll explain why we're gonna use this. So the first option is going to be the most advanced option because it requires a lot of quad and hip flexibility. So we're gonna place, I'm focusing on my left side for demonstration purposes. So we're placing the pad right underneath, and what I'm gonna try to do is get that shin nice and parallel with the box here. And now I'm gonna take this front leg forward. And now my job is to really try to get my torso up and ensuring that I'm not hyperextending or having that curvature of the lower back, really tightening my abs, really tightening my glute muscles to feel a nice, good pull and good stretch on the front of the quadricep muscle. It's gonna feel quite intense. The goal is to try to get your heel to your bottom. As you can see, I hold quite a bit of tightness on my quadriceps, but this is actually my best side. So what you're gonna do is trying to sit up nice and tall, keeping your torso up, focus on taking a couple deep breaths, really feeling a nice good stretch on the front side there. Now, this is quite intense, and for most people, they may not be able to try to get their heel to their bottom, especially if you have a job that requires you to do a lot of sitting. So I wanted to provide you guys with two other options so that you can progress and eventually work your way up to this position, okay? So if you weren't able to tolerate this position here, we have option two that you can do. And this is where basically the medicine ball or a box or a chair that you can prop up on can actually be very helpful in this situation. So I'll take this medicine ball, I'll put it right in front of us. So option two is I'm still gonna try to get that shin nice and vertical with the box here and still bring my front leg forward, but instead of trying to bring my torso upright, I'm just gonna use support of an elevated surface to help me stay a little bit more upright. I can still focus on squeezing my glute. I can still focus on kind of opening up that front quad area, but now I'm not forced in a compromised position and bending and creating an excessive curvature of the lower back. So using this ball, I'm just doing my best to prop up, and you're gonna hang out, same thing, for about a minute or two. And obviously you're working on both sides, and you'll realize very quickly which side is your tighter side, okay? So if this option is still too difficult, you can always place that ball or box right underneath you. So instead of getting that shin vertical, if we prop our leg back just like so, this is going to require less knee flexion. And so I'm still bringing that leg up, but now it's a little less intense stretch on the front quad area. But some of us, this is kind of where we might start with. And so I'm still focusing on tightening my glute muscles, trying to keep my torso nice and upright, feeling a nice good pull on the front of the capsule or the front of the hip joint here. I love this because it not only exposes the quadricep muscle, but also exposes some of the hip flexors and even the lower back. And you can really tie in the lower back by kind of working on some side bending away from that side and even kind of rotating in. So you can kind of explore those areas and see where you hold the most tension. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on the first option, you can do this with all of the options, but I like taking my hand, providing a nice gentle downward force on my pelvis. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of passively move my pelvis into that posterior pelvic tilt. and you're gonna feel a lot more tension or a little bit more pull on the front of the quadricep area. So that's just a little trick that I like to use to passively keep me in that good position versus allowing my hip. You'll see people doing the stretch and they kind of let their hips go forward and they're doing the stretch, but it's incorrectly. So the last option is we're gonna take you down to the ground if all of these are too advanced. And here the pad will be underneath the knee. Now we've taken our knee to basically full flexion and slowly started to open up that knee angle. And now my knee is kind of just at 90 degrees. And this is kind of your most modified position, but you'll be surprised, you can still explore a lot of good sticky areas with this one. Okay, so you're still in a half kneeling position, squeezing the glutes, staying nice and tight. And I like to actually grab my wrist and work through some of these areas of tightness. Now I can shift my body forward, but I wanna be careful that I don't kind of let my spine go and I'm leaning too far forward where it's really not stretching efficiently that hip flexor and quadricep area. So make sure you lock in that glute, keep that spine nice and neutral, and explore the area of where you hold the most tension, okay? So those are a few of the options that you can work with on the greatest quad stretch in the world. It's one of my favorites to address muscle imbalances in the quadricep and in the hip flexor area. And if you're dealing with any knee pain or hip pain, you'll be surprised if you get in this position and spend a little bit of time, sometimes it actually will take away your pain. So definitely spend some time here. Guys, if you like this video and you found value in this video, please consider subscribing and hit that like button so this video can have a larger reach. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.